The next opponent they have will be the Browns. Yesterday, the Browns named Shedeur Sanders the starter for their afternoon tilt on Sunday against the Niners. Sanders will make his second consecutive start, and Kevin Stefanski said the first thing was to win, which Sanders did obviously against the Raiders. Next thing now is improvement, which will be one game better. In his first start, Sanders went 11 for 20, 209 passing yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, leading the Browns to a big win, obviously, over the Raiders. Shedeur became the first Browns quarterback to win his first career start since Zaire, am I saying it right?
Yeah.
Zaire in 1995.
Yeah.
It had been a minute, okay? That's all we're going to say. But what do we expect to see now from Shedeur Sanders on Sunday against the Niners? Just pointed out how Saleh can really coach defense, so a bigger challenge, we would assume, than what we saw in the Raiders. CC, what do you think?
Well, here's the thing. I think Shedeur Sanders had some good things to build on in his first start. Being able to push the ball down the field, the off-schedule throws to Isaiah Bond and Jerry Jeudy, those are things to be lauded for. The other thing that we got to point out, only 1 sack in that game against the Raiders.
Huge.
That's big. Max Crosby, that Raiders defensive front, they can get after quarterbacks. The fact that he's not constantly retreating out of the back end of the pocket and putting himself up against it against NFL caliber pass rushers, that is a positive. Now, of course, it's going to be uneven.
Yeah.
He got fooled with the zone pressure. Sure. Charles Snowden ended up getting a pick. Where'd he go to school? Virginia. Just going to throw that out there. But here's the thing.
Plug.
I think that the 49ers have their work cut out for him because this is a guy that has shown the ability to do some special things in the downfield passing game. And this is not a 49ers front that gets after the quarterback.
Right.
They rank dead last in sacks in the NFL.
That's right.
So if you give a quarterback, albeit going into his second NFL start, the kind of time that they've given quarterbacks in the past, this Cleveland Browns passing game led by Shedeur Sanders could carve you up. So I'm not going to take it as a fait accompli that the San Francisco 49ers go into Cleveland and boat race the Browns.
Okay, what do you think, Stephen A?
You are.
I think balling out is a bit too extreme. I don't think we saw enough from Shedeur Sanders to say that he's ready to do that against the 49ers team, which is obviously much, much better than the Las Vegas Raiders. But what if he's just better than what we saw last weekend? I think we'll be satisfied with that. I think that would be an upgrade. I think that'll be something that can build confidence in him. And he got the ball out of his hands quicker than usual. He wasn't holding on to the ball as long as he's customarily known to do. And obviously in Bond and others, he's shown that he's got some weapons, some speedsters out there that he can dip and dunk to, and they could potentially make some things happen. He missed Jerry Jeudy on a couple of occasions. I saw Jeudy over, he didn't get him the ball. But outside of that, I'm looking at him and I'm saying, you know what, against this 49ers team, that's, again, is good, but in the same breath, don't have their 2 elite guys. If he goes out there and balls and look better than he did against the Vegas Raiders, against the Las Vegas Raiders, I think that would be a huge plus. I don't expect him to play lights out, throw for 300 or 400 yards or anything like that. But if he's in the 200-plus yard range and he's throwing the ball efficiently and not turning the ball over, I think that's a plus, and I think that's something to build on.
Yeah, listen, I fully agree. With Stephen, I think when you have these conversations about expectations on quarterback, keep them realistic, right? Like, think about Lamar Jackson just coming back and the way he's played these 3 games being banged up, right? He hasn't been like a world beater, but he's finding ways to win, right? The most important part of QB play is not giving the game away. I thought that what Shedeur did, they haven't done all season. In one game, Shedeur had the 3 largest completions in the Cleveland Browns in all their games of the season. He had a 66, a 52, and a 39-yard completion in one game. So he pushed the ball down. Now, one's a quick screen out. I get everybody's like, oh, it's a screen. Well, guess what? Stafford those screens too. And so does Drake May, and so does every other quarterback. And that's what your job is to get it to the playmakers, allow them to go make plays. But the part that you said, CC, that I loved is the sacks. And I think what I would say is a negative in college at Colorado, he was under duress. I mean, let's be honest, like, there was some days where them boys were just coming through the gates, and he was running for his life and making the moment for me didn't seem bigger than Shedeur Sanders in that, and that's the most important thing. He's not going to go throw for 350 and 4 touchdowns, but the expectation shouldn't be that. It's growth, right? Caleb Williams was the first pick of the draft last year and played every game. This is the dude's second start. Just look for small areas of growth. protecting the football, getting in your playmakers' hands, try to stay on time, right? Let that defense do what they can do so well, and hopefully they keep you in the game and you make it a game. But, man, listen, did he absolutely light it up? No. But, man, it was his first start in the NFL, and he did plenty to, listen, earn the right to start the next week. That's the most important thing Shedeur Sanders did, is he earned the right to start again. He played better than Gabriel has. He gave the Browns a win. All of those things should be massive checks in the pros column. I just respect the way they went about it.
Quickly, you have a comment, or are you good?
Yeah, I think it's important to also note that Shedeur Sanders has put on tape the ability to be able to push the ball down the field.
Yeah.
And that's going to impact everybody on that Cleveland Browns offense. That running game with Quinshon Judkins and Dylan Sampson and that offensive line, they'll have a chance to get a little more room to operate because defenses now have to play the Browns offense a little more honest.
Amen.
When it came to what Dylan Gabriel did over a 6-game sample size, he's throwing the ball 5.1 yards per attempt. Shedeur Sanders in this game against the Vegas Raiders, 10.4 yards per attempt.
Yeah.
He's doubling the yards per attempt in the passing game.
So people understand what that does to DBs and the whole concept of
in its simplest terms, the team is going to keep 2 safeties back deep as opposed to 1 safety back deep.
That's right.
So you're going to have lighter boxes to run the football against. And with that hard-nosed running game, then all of a sudden you can feel some excitement about the direction that this Cleveland Browns offense is going to go in.
Yeah.
Last word.
The one thing that we also have to bring up, the last thing that we also have to bring up is this. It really means nothing from a standpoint of, okay, this is this season, this is what this is. But since 1995, 17 different quarterbacks started for the Cleveland Browns. None of them won. Yeah. Shedeur Sanders is the first to have done it. Why does that matter? Because somehow, some way, along the way, and we've talked about this with various quarterbacks throughout NBA history, that it factor, somebody else may have it when others don't. And when you look at the Cleveland Browns and their history of futility, particularly at the quarterback position, even with Kevin Stefanski, who arrived in 2020 and was now on his 13th different quarterback, you do want someone to come along and you're able to say, yo, that's the one. And that's what everybody is looking to find out about Shedeur Sanders.
Definitely. And to your point, Jeff, too, like when you talk about the rookies, Cam Ward not played great. J.J. McCarthy.
Cam Ward has looked better the month of November.
Sure, but I mean, this is comparative. This is his second start. It might take a minute. So we'll see what happens, obviously, against the Niners this Sunday. Let's stay in the AFC North because yesterday Zach Taylor announced that Joe Burrow is likely to start on Thursday for the Bengals on their Thanksgiving Day matchup against the Ravens. Now, Burrow has been out 9 games with a turf toe injury. With Burrow as the starter, the Bengals won their first 2 games. They've won only 1 game since. Wow. So Burrow posted this on his IG yesterday with the caption, "He's back." Interesting. The jersey's an interesting choice. Canty, can the Bengals with Burrow under center go on a little bit of a run here and get some things done?
Absolutely. Joe Burrow has won 6 straight games in his career before. I absolutely think it's on the board for him to be able to do it again. And here's the deal. They lost a game on Sunday to the New England Patriots, but didn't lose ground in the division. Right. The division leader was 3 games up in the win column, and guess what? Sitting here today, the division leader is 3 games up in the win column. The only difference is it's the Baltimore Ravens and not the Pittsburgh Steelers. Oh, by the way, the Bengals play the Ravens not once but twice starting on Turkey Day this week. So I absolutely think it's plausible for Cincinnati to be able to get this done. When you look at Baltimore's remaining schedule, for them to be able to go 500 would be a blessing. Every team they play not named Cincinnati is over 500. And that includes dates with the Patriots and the Green Bay Packers. When you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're on quarterback number 2 with Mason Rudolph. And I'm not conceding the division to them. So, the Cincinnati Bengals absolutely have an opportunity to get into the playoffs by winning the AFC North.
Woo! Well, you talk about a tall order now. I love Burrow, and I think he is. My concern is, and I would be disingenuous if I said a guy missing this much time walking back on the field and everything just clicks, right? And we don't really know about T. Higgins. I'm not sure if he's already been declared out or if he has a possibility of playing. But, like, when you look at this, I know Chase will be back. So they have a plethora of riches on the outside, and even at times they can make plays. My question is protection. and Joe Burrow protecting himself and understanding what that is. And the Ravens defense has gotten better. They're playing a little bit better. Now, the offense hasn't put any pressure on, and that bodes well, right? Because it's Cincy's defense that everybody's concerned about. So if they give them a chance, and to your point of beating the Ravens, now you're really in the conversation. I just got to see it to believe it. Like, I love Joe Burrow. I just think when guys miss this much time, there's a lot of rust to work off, especially, man, your toe and, like, pushing off and getting chased and all of those things that come into, like, a real game situation. It's not practice. I just got to see it.
Confirmed T. Higgins will not
The
play
answer
on Thanksgiving.
Okay.
He is out. Yes, so no T. Higgins.
The answer to this question is no way in hell. They ain't run no damn table. All right, let's stop this nonsense. First of all, let's go to the injuries that you just alluded to, Jeff Saturday. Let's look at this here. Okay, so you got the wrist injury in 2023. In 2020, the left knee injury where he tore the ACL and other ligaments. Let's not forget about that. We also got to remember the emergency appendectomy that impacted the beginning of the 2022 season, strained calf that affected the start of the 2023 season, and then now we got this stuff. I mean, my Lord. I mean, is the Bengals a football franchise or an infirmary? What the hell is going on? Okay, let's get that out the way. That's number one. And number two, we're really going to have this conversation. You're 1-6 against Lamar Jackson lifetime. 1-6. We haven't forgotten that, okay? So let's not forget that, okay? And that's who you're playing against, even though Lamar Jackson has not looked great. You're 1-6 lifetime against him. We got to pay attention to that. Plus, Baltimore's now in the thick of things, and they've steered their ship in the right direction, okay? That's number two. Number three, even though we're talking about a Joe Burrow that's 18-5 lifetime in the month of December and January, including the postseason, the bottom line is that this is November. And I want to look at something here. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but last time I checked, total defense dead last, scoring defense dead last, third down defense second worst, in the next to last in the National Football League, red zone defense fourth worst. They are awful. I mean, they're so bad defensively. You've got defensive players hiding in public in local areas, not wanting anybody to know that they play defense for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh,
you understand?
wow.
That's how bad it is, okay? It's horrible, okay? So we're talking about, we're looking at this schedule, and they got 2 games against the Ravens, 1 at Buffalo, okay? And we're acting like they can run the table. I expect them to lose 2 of these 3 games. I expect them to lose 2 of the next 3 games.
Well, Stephen,
and that will be that.
The defense actually scored against the New England Patriots on a pick 6.
Yeah.
So the defense wasn't the issue on Sunday. It was the offense not being able to muster
Well, I mean, come on,
and
man.
consistently put
Come
together
on, man.
drives. Well,
Jamar Chase was out, and Joe Flacco's still 41. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man. We're not
Stephen,
going to make a
your
big
point
deal
was
about that, are
the
we?
Your point was about the defense.
Their
That was
defense
the
is
point.
horrible.
Yeah, they weren't horrible on Sunday against the New England Patriots, who right now are in line to have the #1 seed in the conference. So we're starting to say this thing about the Cincinnati Bengals not being capable of being able to turn a corner, and I'm just going to put it out there. If Joe Burrow can come back and resemble the guy that we saw at the end of last season, which is a tall ask, I don't think we can dismiss the Cincinnati Bengals being able to make a run at this thing. Now, their playoff starts now.
No doubt.
If they lose this game on Thanksgiving night, it's over. You might as well shut Joe Burrow down because your season is over.
I hate to bring it up, but remember we were talking about 2 games for Jamar Chase for the spitting? It was only 1 game, and now look at this situation.
Oh, massive.
T. Higgins is out.
Yep.
Joe Burrow is back, and you're talking about maybe they could go on a playoff run. I'm just saying, if they had listened to you and he was saying that, this would have been wild.
I'm not using this side of
Yeah,
The
you're a
Bengals.
So it's real. I mean, I'm really proud of
This
you.
is growth, Jeff.
This
This is growth.
Go ahead, Stephen.
Grow.
Go ahead.
The last person that needs to grow is you. Let's get that out the way, Cece. You're the last person that needs to grow. All right, let's get that out the way. That's okay. Let's be very, very clear with your monstrous self. Okay, no, you don't need to grow. All right, but let me tell y'all this: 2 of the next 3 games they're gonna lose. They'll probably score over 35 in each of them, and they'll still lose. What? How many games did the Bengals lose last year, scoring 33 or more? I think they lost like 8 or 9 games last year, scoring 33 or more. It's what they do. We know they're going to score. We know with Joe Burrow on the field, they're going to put points up. It's the defense. Who they going to stop? Let's stop this nonsense.
Yeah.
They're losing 2 of the next 3 games.
The Baltimore Ravens, they scored 30 in a month.
That's
and he
right.
talking about they going to put up 30. Come on,
But
man.
to Stephen A's point,
Against
Joe
Cincinnati?
Burrow,
Yes.
Come on, man.
Yes.
Joe Burrow has lost 4
Watch.
straight against the Ravens, so that's not great news. But we will see what happens. It would be fun if Cincinnati went on a run.